and the great columnist for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Terry Pluto, joining us. Why do you think we moved up the time frame here, Terry?
Well, I don't necessarily think they're going to be having a new name in 21.
Okay.
You know, whether they decided, be the Cleveland Blanks or they're going to stay with the Indians. I know in July the original plan was to have like one last year with the Indians. Sell stuff, all that kind of thing. And also, as a top executive told me, Dan, it's easy to say, okay, we're not going to be the Indians. It's hard to say, well, what are you going to be? I mean, how about the walleyes? That just came in. You feel strongly about fish?
What about tribe?
Oh, no, nothing to do with the Native American. They want to get as far away from that as they can.
All right.
I love tribe. In fact, I often call them my story, the tribe, far more than the Indians. Long time ago. The book's so old, it's not really a big plug. I wrote a book called Our Tribe, and how the Indians were like a second family to my dad and I growing up. And he talked about Bob Feller like he talked about Uncle Myron. And that's how I think the feeling is when you are in we have a close association with the team. It's kind of like a tribe that goes across, what I love about sports, racial lines and everything else.
But also we see what's happening with Washington and the football team and Daniel Snyder. And I understand what he's doing, I guess. Could you see the Cleveland baseball team as a possibility, sort of a stopgap or Band-Aid, or kind of ride this out? It feels like Daniel Snyder's like, all right, you want me to change it? How about that? I'm going to change it to that. I mean, I always see the revenue stream here with Terry. Terry, that you're like, we'll get a new nickname and we got all brand new revenue stream here.
Yeah, that would be the idea a year from now, but I'm not sure the Cleveland baseball team is going to sell a lot of sweatshirts. I could be wrong, but that doesn't do it for me. I know this, in July, when I wrote the story that it was not going to be till 22, the plan at that point was for them to be the last year with the Indians in the same year, like they had like kind of one last go around with Chief Wahoo. So that was the plan. It could change, things have been really subject to that. But the moment they came out and said, we're thinking about changing the name, I don't know why people are surprised. It was done. You don't come out and say that. Say, never mind. We're not going to do that. We're gonna go back. In fact, we're gonna go back to the old 1948 logo, which was really reprehensible. No, they're not going to do that. So it's just a matter of what. And I think that is really their big, discussion area. And on top of it, right now the Indians are in a major budget cutting thing. It's really funny though in Cleveland. It's like the Indians are held to this higher standard than the other franchises with the fans. The last 8 years they've had winning records, gone to playoffs 5 times, but they're cheap.
But are we looking at the Braves now, the Chiefs, the Blackhawks? Is it going to be college? Is it high school? Like the trickle down? Does it start with the Cleveland Indians?
I mean, that could be the next. The first column I wrote about Chief Wahoo was 1996, where I was against getting rid of. I was for changing the logo, but keeping the name, because I've been out west a lot, especially at the Wind River Indian Reservation, which is what it's called. And then back then, and for many years, they had a paper from USA Today called Indian Country Today. Indian was not considered that pejorative a term. Redskins always was, but Indian wasn't. But they did not like the logo. And so I always kind of based my thing on that. Granted, boy, there's a real in-depth pull. I get it. But in terms of just common sense, but now, truthfully, as you said, it could go into anything that, Florida State, I just saw them playing basketball the other day with that big logo on the floor. I thought the same thing you did, Dan. I don't know what it is, but it's one of those things, I guess, because I grew up with it, I feel for it, but I was really down on the logo for years. What I wanted them to do is actually hire like 4 or 5 top of the Native American artists, have them do a rendering of it, have a big contest, and money get tossed around. I think people would have liked that. Now I'll tell you, it is wide open. What's your idea? What do you want to name? You're from Dayton, right? You're from Ohio.
Oh, I don't know. The Cleveland Buckeyes. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, that was a Negro League team.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Some people don't like it because it follows with Ohio State.
Yeah.
Your marketing brand there.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
like the spiders. Everybody wants the spiders.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. They have a lobbying group going, the Cleveland Spiders, which the last time they were the Spiders, they were just awful. So
That's back in
not
what,
that I
the 1899 Cleveland Spiders?
yeah, I covered them. They really had some nice guys, but they just couldn't play. They really.
But
It was really bad at the end. They actually did bring in this bellhop one day, said he could pitch because they were running out of pitchers or on the road somewhere, and found out he pitched like a bellhop.
How big of an issue is this locally?
Big. It's a big deal because
but is
a
there
lot of the fans.
a lot of fans? I'm sure don't want change.
Yes.
But are they a vocal group? Is it a large group that doesn't want it?
Yeah. How much is it going to hurt attendance or whatever? I don't know. But in terms of, first of all, it strikes me that most of the fans of the baseball team tend to be older. And I think some of the demographics have shown that in other places. So one, they're used to what, you and I are a little older. We're used to what we're used to. And change sometimes doesn't do it for us. And thirdly, like a lot of them like the tribe or that. I think they weren't thrilled about the logo, but the name thing has really kind of rocked them. And they feel that it's being pressured, from Manfred and the league office to everything that's going on in the world right now. And now they want to take away the team's name and call it, who knows?
Yeah, but I go back to the Chicago Blackhawks. I think it's maybe the finest looking. Like it's gorgeous. That logo is beautiful. And if you do it in conjunction, I agree with you. If I look at the Braves and the Indians, that's a threatening looking caricature. I mean, it's not flattering at all if I was Native American. And I think if you do it in a regal way, in conjunction with some Native American artists, then you probably could have circumvented this a long time ago, Terry.
Hopefully, although, I mean, some people, it all depends where we are politically on stuff. But I'm with you, Dan. And I always thought, too, that, hey, get some money involved here. As I said, you have those renderings of that. And, say the guy that won it is from the Lakota. By the way, that's one of the things when you're out west, you discover that the identity is your tribe, the Arapaho, the Lakota, the Shawnee, whatever, that tribe gets a piece of the action from whoever won this. I just think it could have been fun, but they just decided that's it. And in the middle of this year, the other thing they were worried about, and the Washington had this, was a lot of the corporate sponsors, remember, went after them. And it's not like Cleveland's got a ton of corporate sponsors of Fortune 500 companies to begin with. And I think they didn't want their sponsors feeling a lot of pressure to push towards this, so they wanted to get out in front of it. Yeah.
But you think this your last year enjoying the artist formerly known as the Cleveland Indians?
Yes, unless they decide to make him the Cleveland Blanks, which I hope they don't do that.
Terry, good to talk to you as always. Keep stirring it up. We appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Dan.
That's Terry Pluto, columnist for the Cleveland Plain Dealer.